Hi everyone, my name is Rick Moore, and today I'll be talking about how sharks should be protected instead of feared. Sharks are more than 3,000 feet and can grow up to be more than 20 feet long, and yet they have more of a reason to fear us than for us to fear them. More than 100 million sharks are killed every year by commercial fishermen as they are hunted for their fins and for their flesh. In reality, sharks are not the terrorizing monsters that movies have made them out to be, and their population decline shows that these animals need to be protected instead of killed out of fear. First of all, according to the Washington Post, the worldwide population of sharks and rays declined more than 71% between 1970 and 2018. This occurred when the popularity of shark films arose, with Jaws having been released in 1975 and a whole genre of shark horror movies being released after that, such as The Shallows, 47 Meters Down, and many other shark movies. These creatures have been significantly more targeted. Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, even came out publicly saying that he regrets the impact that Jaws has had on the shark population, as we can see in this video clip here.
Hey, you guys. You guys okay over there?
This video clip makes sharks to be more of a villain that seeks out humans, which is not always true. Secondly, these movies have created an unrealistic image as to how sharks act around people. Granted, they are not always the most approachable creatures and should still be treated as animals with great power, but that does not mean that they should be killed off and hunted. On average, the amount of deaths by shark are around 6 to 8 per year, which is nothing compared to the millions of sharks that we kill off on a yearly basis. In comparison to death by shark, there were 150 deaths from falling coconuts last year. In addition to that, fishermen seek out sharks for their shark fins as they are considered a delicacy in certain Asian cultures. Sadly, many fishermen will simply cut off the shark fin from the shark and leave it to bleed to death and drown. This inhumane and selfish way of hunting an endangered species is leaving sharks in a decline, even though they have done little to scare humans in comparison to our actions towards them. Sharks are painted to be the monsters in many movies, but sharks have more reason to be afraid of us than for us to be afraid of them. Moreover, many people are likely wondering about shark attacks and are still fearful of them. Like many people who have grown up on the West Coast, we have always been warned about sharks when going to the beach and how they are visually dangerous. But according to Macquarie University in Australia, sharks have very poor eyesight in comparison to humans. Macquarie University describes it as someone who is short-sighted taking off their glasses. So basically a completely blurry point of view in comparison to our eyesight. Oftentimes, sharks will see people sitting on their surfboards and mistaken them for sea lions or sea turtles. Thanks to their eyesight, they aren't able to see the difference between a surfer and a sea creature, and as a result, they may come up to surfers and bump into them or bite them to see if they are food. So if a shark does approach you, it is mainly out of curiosity and not out of hunger. Again, the chance of a shark attack are 1 out of 4.3 million. Sharks do not look to interact with humans, and if they do, it is usually their mistake. Additionally, some divers have even described sharks as dogs, and according to Jim Abernethy on Animal Planet, many of the sharks he dives with on Tiger Beach do not mind his presence and allow him to pet them regularly. They have grown comfortable with Abernethy over the years and are familiar with who he is the same way he is familiar with them and we would be familiar with our dog. He just even describes them as shy creatures, which may be a shock to many people. Here in this video clip, we see him petting sharks and being up close and personal with them.
This is a very, very special, unique moment where we are actually making friends with a huge wild animal that the world believes to be a vicious killer.
Sharks have been on this planet for a long time before dinosaurs and have played a vital role in the ocean's ecosystem. Sharks are keystone species, meaning that they are predators and keep the populations of certain animals under control. If they were to disappear from the ocean completely, it would ruin our ocean's ecosystem and way of life. In the simplest terms, let's say that sharks eat fish that eat tinier fish, and those tinier fish eat algae. If sharks were to completely disappear, the fish population they would eat would grow uncontrolled and eat all of the tinier fish. And as a result, the algae in the ocean would grow rapidly and be an unlivable place for many ocean animals. We have seen this happen with the wolf population in Yellowstone National Park, as they were utterly wiped out of fear that they would attack humans. We see that elk population in Yellowstone grew out of control and they started to begin eating greenery and shrubbery and even some trees and affected the ecosystem around them. As they ate more leaves off of the trees began to have stunted growth and many parts of the ecosystem began to suffer. The Yellowstone ecosystem was thrown completely off balance when wolves disappeared, and similar events will occur if sharks continue to decline in population. All in all, sharks are not the monsters that we have made them out to be, and are actually less aggressive towards humans than we have been taught. It is important for us to protect and respect these animals so that our ocean ecosystem can be balanced and healthy once again. Thank you for listening to my presentation.